my name's Amanda Dawn, and welcome to our channel. Here we connect to ourselves and this wild, beautiful earth we call home. So what is fall symbolically? It's the time of the harvest, of bringing in all the fruits and vegetables that we've spent all summer growing. It's time for nights to change, so the darkness is starting to take over, the moon's coming back out, the stars, and the sun is moving away. It's a time for animals to, some are gonna hibernate, so they're busy eating a lot, and there's squirrels hiding their nuts for feasts for later in the winter. There's also other animals and birds that don't like winter, so they're taking off to go south. So it's this whole transitional period of getting ready for the big event called winter. Another thing that's happening that's really obvious is the trees. They've spent all summer growing their beautiful green leaves to collect energy from the sunlight, and now it's through a few cold snaps, they've changed colors and they are ready to let go. And it's a beautiful reminder of trying to get all these things done before that final editing period happens, called frost and snow and winter. So let's get started. The first one is the moose, which, if you've ever seen a moose before, they're the big, gentle giant of the forest. They've got these two large horns that are cradling up into their higher self and the light. They're just a magical giant beast that seems like it has no home in urban life. The moose is very introverted, and it likes to be by itself. You're not going to see it in groups unless it's raising a family. And it's just that reminder that we don't always need to be social and living in a community, especially this time of the year. The moose wants us to connect to our higher wisdom, hence the giant, beautiful horns, connecting to our higher selves and helping integrate our fifth dimensional bodies into our third dimensional bodies. And just connecting to that ancient wisdom that's been here on this earth for so long. It's all those secrets of the forest that the moose wants to share with you. So another beautiful animal that's showing up to work with this November is the blue heron. It's one of my favorite birds. It is also very self-reliant. It's very introverted and shy. So you're gonna find it usually alone on a coast side like the ocean or by a small pond and river. They're such an interesting bird though, because they have these long yellow feet that wade through the water very quietly and patiently, and they just are waiting for that perfect moment to strike to hunt for fish. So it's just an interesting realization. So what's beautiful about the blue heron is it wants us to be less concerned about what everybody else thinks. It is a trailblazer in the way of independence, self-reliance, and really not giving a damn. So it's time to embrace yourself and who you authentically are. It's not always easy, of course, but it's worth it. You are worth it. So the blue heron is about connecting to that creative life flow, about becoming self-reliant and authentic, and about trailblazing. But it's not the only symbol that's showing up that's really a pioneer. The Jeep. I know it's a vehicle, but I'm convinced there's more Jeeps in Nova Scotia than there are humans at this rate because I see them so much. So if you're not a Jeep fan, you can also consider like a 4x4, a Hummer, a side-by-side. Any of those off-roading vehicles really are the same symbol at this point. So think about this. The Jeep was created to go on all terrains that have no roads. So they are the covered wagon of the great American West. The Jeep is the pioneer. It is the trailblazer, and it wants to take you on the adventure of a lifetime. It's going to take you not only on the outside adventure, but the inside adventure, the emotional journey. It wants to take you to places unknown and unexplored. And what a beautiful symbol that is. So every time I see a Jeep, I'm just like, going on an adventure. So just those tiny little nuances in your day can really help add to your self-discovery and your journey through this life. I guess part of this is that when we start on a path of enlightenment or self-discovery or ascension even, it can be really difficult to be going at it alone. Not all of our family and friends are really going to understand what's happening, and things are going to shift. It can get really scary, but to know that there's these other symbols and guides here to help us can really help make life a bit easier through this transformational time. So we also need to have courage. And that brings us to my next animal, which is the lion. The lion symbolizes courage 100%. Originally, I didn't even want to talk about the lion because I feel like it's kind of overdone. And courage, if you look on a vibrational scale, courage is really in the middle. So you got all your lower emotions like hate and anger and greed, and your highest emotions like enlightenment and joy, and courage is right smack in the middle. But I had that realization that all emotions are equal, all emotions are valid, and as a human you get to live through all of them, because we don't really know what it means to be happy if we can't have despair in our lives. And during the resistance time, when I didn't really want to talk about the lion for November, it kept showing up everywhere. I seen it on a symbol on a van, I'd seen it on clothing labels, it was everywhere. So courage and tapping into that lion, power is really, really important. Because so far we're talking about being ourselves, we're talking about self-reliance and independence and finding our own direction. We're talking about that emotional journey and ascension. So having courage to do all of those things and to follow our own path is really important. So it's time to let out our inner roar. Another thing to imagine about the lion is the sense of the tribe. So lions are generally not by themselves. They've got a whole pack with them called a tribe. So just knowing that you can meet up with people who are on the same level with you vibrationally is really going to be something that's coming up in the future months, though maybe not right now. Because it is important to have friends and social connections that are going to help you ascend and be yourself and feel comfortable being yourself around. Another animal that showed up, which is kind of interesting, I can't always envision how it fits in, is the emu. So this is a bird that does not fly. It has the face only a mother could love, and it is from Australia. The emu is actually really important because of gender roles. So the male emus raise the eggs and the chicks, while the women do their business and take off. So it's a really great symbol for men, for new fathers, for anyone just in those relationship dynamics that needs a bit help of shifting of gender roles. But it's not the only thing emus are known for. Obviously their uniqueness, because they are a little weird. So just being able to be comfortable with yourself and who you are, which has really showed up in all the other symbols, is really important. Emus are a really important symbol for spiritual ascension, for shamanism, for vibrational enlightenment. So just being able to tap into that creature that's next on the path is really interesting. They're very connected to the earth, so, which is also really important. We need to be grounded in order to ascend, and in order to find our higher selves. And the emu can help us with that. The emu, coincidentally, is also an animal that is great to work with in tandem with crystals. So I love being able to have different things to work with in terms of symbols of transformation. So being able to pick an animal or a vehicle or a crystal. If you have anything that's calling to you right now, just pop it in the comments below, because I'm really curious as to what people want to work with. But now we're going to talk about green calcite. So most of the calcite family in the crystal world is about physical, emotional healing. But this is not the message that's showing up for me. It is telling us about believing in our own worth, about being worthy, about loving ourselves and really supporting ourselves. How does that make you feel? Doesn't that feel great to be like, yes, I'm worthy. I believe in myself. Because we really need to have that self-love and acceptance to integrate all of these other transformational skills. If we don't love ourselves and believe in ourselves, we're only hurting and harming ourselves. And learning to love yourself can be the hardest part of everything. Trust me, I've been there. So being able to buy a crystal or find one and be able to wear it or stick it in my pocket or put it in my car or my purse, I just realized I have crystals everywhere. Can just help integrate those messages and remind us that we're worthy of all of the good things in our lives. Another symbol that's been showing up is the lighthouse. And this is especially important for anyone who considers themselves a healer or a light worker. Traditionally, the lighthouse is a symbol of hope and, hope through the darkness and the stormy weather. But this is not what's happening. Right now, the guides are telling me that the lighthouse is all about letting people know they're here. Lighting up the night to let people know they are here to work with them, no matter if they're happy or sad or if it's day or night, they are here. But the next part of that transformation is for us light workers to be that lighthouse, to light up our own selves so that other people will be inspired to find that beautiful part of themselves. So just imagine your heart opening with light and you becoming a lighthouse, a light beam for all people to see and to be inspired. That is our life, one of our missions in life, to not only become ourselves, but by doing that, by being us authentically ourselves, we are inspiring other people to be themselves. That is so beautiful, so incredibly moving. So interestingly enough, all of these symbols are really about finding our own worth, about becoming our authentic selves, about being more introverted and going on the emotional journey, about being self-reliant and taking the Jeep for a drive. So I'd like you to take a few deep breaths. And just breathe into your body. Feel the energy in your body. And I'd love for you to center on your heart. Just breathe into your heart and let it fill up with light. And ask yourself if there's a word or an image or a symbol that can really help you work through this period of transformation. Just hold it into your heart. You might ask it how you want to work with it. What's the best way to work with it? But just hold to that image in your heart. Doesn't that feel amazing? So take time to write in the comments below what showed up. I would love to find out. I want you to take some time journaling and just meditating over what you've learned, because we are all in this together and you are worth it. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Amanda.